Hey man, what it is, this is Deem and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go to PayPal at Deem by any means. There go to Cash App, $ Deem by any means. Y'all know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you send $1, $10, $100. It is much, much, much appreciated. Um, Terence Bud Crawford, let me holler at you, sir. Yeah. What Charleston White say, y'all? Yeah. Yeah, we got to talk, my guy. I just want to show y'all something, and y'all know I'm a Terence Crawford fan. I like Bud. I like Errol Spence Jr. more, but Bud was one of those guys. You know how you got the Devin Haney, Javante stuff, and all that. But Bud was one of them guys that I actually liked, though. So you couldn't really turn me against Bud. But I got to hold him accountable, though, because I'm a Bud fan. I mean, I don't see how you watch the man fight and don't be a fan of the man, but okay, whatever. But he proves why you can't listen to fighters' words. Now, right after his fight with Errol Spence, I went on Twitter and I can't even find a tweet from Terence Crawford no more. I don't know if he deleted it or whatever. But Terence Crawford said that he would never, ever fight Danny Garcia or Keith Thurman because when they was in his position, they did not give him his opportunity. Shout out to my guy at Knockout Boxing 86 and L Dub Boxing because L Dub told Knockout this, and I heard this from Knockout on a short that he made earlier. Go watch Knockout. Go to Knockout channel. Go watch his shorts. Go watch his video. I think he dropping a video right now, similar about this same situation. But I'm coming at it from a little different angle. Um, it's set that Terence Crawford turned down the fight offer for Erickson Lubin and Jermell Charlo from the PBC. He wants the winner of Keith Thurman and timtszyu. I have no problem with that. We all told y'all that we've been telling y'all this is what this man was trying to do. But just go to 154 and drop the belts, and you ain't got to hear about Boots' name and all that. Everybody who knows me on all these panels will tell you I've been telling Bud, go to 154, tell Jerron Ennis, if you want to fight me, you got to come up here. But I'm going to 154 to become undisputed for the third time. That was the best move. Shout out to my man Blood Boxing. Blood Boxing and Fanon and Knockout Boxing and myself and manager Marty have been saying this for months now. All of us have been saying this for months now, sir. We already know that's what you're going to do. Can you stop acting like you're not going to do it? Can you do what Devin Haney did? See, Devin Haney was capping about staying at 135, but then eventually he dropped all the belts. Do what Devin Haney did. But then you set up there. So that's one narrative that he was running with, acting like he was actually entertaining the Boots fight when he know personally he was never going to fight Boots at 147. He was never coming back to 147. He was, and it goes to show y'all what he tried to backdoor Errol Spence in. Bud Crawford tried to make that second fight happen at 147 and was hard stanced on that and made sure that it got past the date of it actually the rematch clause still being in effect. Earl went and got eye surgery, blah, blah, blah. So now he's in the clear. But it doesn't change the fact, Bud, that you said you would never fight Keith Thurman. You would never fight Danny Garcia. To be honest with y'all, and y'all heard it here first, I think that's going to be his next two fights. I think that's going to be his next two fights. And if it's not Keith Thurman, and if it's not Keith Thurman and it's not timtszyu, it's going to definitely be Danny Garcia. Because I truly don't think that I think that he is serious about not wanting to fight Errol Spence Jr. again. Because if he was, he would have at least went in negotiations and said, listen, Earl just got eye surgery, but after Keith Thurman, I'll fight Errol Spence at 154, blah, blah, blah. But he's not entertaining that right now. So if he comes back around and winds up fighting Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, or Keith Thurman and timtszyu, it's like, which I don't even see him fighting timtszyu if timtszyu loses. So it just goes to show you again, y'all, why you cannot listen to these boxers, and not all of them, but the ones that show us that they say one thing and they will do another. You got to take everything that they say with a grain of salt. We told y'all Bud was capping about all this stuff. I'm just glad that it's getting put out there now that the man was capping. I already called this move. I kept asking y'all all the time, who he gonna fight? Where's these big fights at? And then every time people brought up Keith Thurman, what was the one thing everybody, and myself included, kept saying? He said he's not fighting Keith Thurman. Errol Spence, the only one that stayed true to that statement. He said he's not fighting Keith Thurman. He trashed Keith Thurman the same way he trashed Jamel Charlo. He turned Charlo down, but now come to find out he wants to fight Keith Thurman. And I truly believe that Bud is looking for something that doesn't exist. Keith Thurman and goddamn Timtszyu is not a bigger fight than Jaron Ennis, bro. And you're not going to convince me that Jaron Ennis will turn you down fighting you at, because Jaron Ennis could go. Y'all understand this, right? Jaron Ennis could go back to 147. If he don't have a mandated fight with the IBF, he can go back to 147. He could fight at 154 for a fight and come back. He don't have to stay there. But we already know that he's not going to do these things. And now, like I said, he's talking about fighting a guy he said he would never fight. So from now on, whatever Terence Crawford say about who he fighting, who he not going to fight, I won't believe none of it until it's announced. Even this all the way. I just refuse to believe he's that much of a hypocrite. I refuse to believe he's somebody that he's that much of a magician with his words. And it goes to show again that Terence Crawford was sitting up there negotiating with Errol Spence, saying he gonna make that fight, but then fight Stan Jonas behind his back. Not Stan Jonas, I forgot the guy name. Whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So this just proves a lot to me, and it proves a bigger issue that we cannot take what these guys say because Terence Crawford said he wanted Errol Spence at 147. We like, why wouldn't you fight him at 154? That's all the man asking for. You refuse to do that. But now you behind the scenes trying to fight Keith Thurman, a guy that you trash, said that you don't even think he deserves. Y'all would never. Terence Crawford said y'all would never get an opportunity at the big dog. And then just 2-3 months later, you done changed your mind all of a sudden. It's because the doors has been closing in. It's because I know that you're not getting that Canelo fight now, especially if Canelo has moved over to another network. But Keith Thurman, you're not going to get big props for beating Keith Thurman, dog. You're not. You just said he was irrelevant. You said he was irrelevant. With that guy that be hosting Showtime fights. You said he was irrelevant, sir. He is irrelevant. I'm not going to lie. But you was downing him yourself. Now don't try to sell us a big fight now on a guy that we all have zero interest in for real, for real. Yeah, we gonna watch this fight with him and Timtszyu because Timtszyu is a fighter that's at the point of his career where, okay, that's a good matchup for Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman hasn't been that active. But for you, sir, that's not a big pay-per-view and all this, that, and the third. Keith Thurman ain't who he was 5-6 years ago. And there's no way you convincing me that's a bigger fight than Errol Spence or Jaron Ennis. You can't convince me of that, sir. So now, can you do what everybody been saying for you to do? Can you drop all the belts at 147 now? Can you please drop all the belts at 147 so Jaron Ennis can have an opportunity to become undisputed? Can you please do it, sir? Because you're getting exposed. You got all the Bud fans, and I'm a Bud fan, but I was telling everybody he's not getting the Canelo fight, man. And you can't talk about you doing it for the bag, but you trying to fight Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is not your biggest bag out there, man. It's not. You know what it is? It's the most money you can make with the least amount of risk. That's what that fight is. It's the most money you can make with the least amount of risk. Give people an opportunity. Now you want to give somebody an opportunity you said you would never give an opportunity to. Keep telling y'all, man, stop listening to these fighters and everything they say, and watch what they do. That's how I knew Devin was going to fight Ryan Garcia. He never had no intentions on fighting Tank Davis. Y'all know what this is, though, man. Deem by any means, and I holler.